Very, very surprising news coming down as this week closes out. I mean, really, I don't know who saw this one coming, and that is that Mastodon has parted ways with their guitarist and vocalist Brent Hinds, a founding member of the band. The band really, Mastodon has not had hardly any lineup changes. At the very, very beginning, back in 2000, they had a guy named Eric Sainer doing lead vocals in the band. I think they put out a demo with him. He left the band, and then I believe that demo was re-recorded with Brent Hinds and Troy Sanders doing the vocals in place of Eric Sainer. But aside from that, the last 25 years, it's been the same exact lineup in Mastodon, and that is Brent Hinds, Troy Sanders, Bron Daler, and Bill Kelleher. But that, of course, has now changed. Brent Hinds is out of the band. Mastodon put out a statement early Friday afternoon. Here's what they said. Friends and fans, after 25 monumental years together, Mastodon and Brent Hinds have mutually decided to part ways. We're deeply proud of and beyond grateful for the music and history we've shared, and we wish him nothing but success and happiness in his future endeavors. We are still very inspired and excited to show up for fans in this next chapter of Mastodon. As we move forward, all 2025 touring plans will remain intact. We look forward to seeing you on the road. I mean, really, this is just such crazy, crazy news. Again, a founding member, the guitarist and the vocalist. I mean, to be fair, everyone in Mastodon sings, but still, I mean, just such a major part of the band. I mean, anybody in Mastodon is a major part of that band, but definitely a big surprise to fans, certainly not a good one, but you know, it seems like really the only inkling that maybe something was up, because again, in that statement I just read, I mean, there's no details about what happened. We have not heard from Brent Hinds yet, so I think maybe the only clue actually came just last week. The band sat in with composer Jake Heggie and a few others. It was something set up by the Metropolitan Opera. They talked about the book Moby Dick and its influence on Mastodon's Leviathan album from back in 2004. Of course, they just did that big tour last year to celebrate the 20th anniversary, the Ashes of Leviathan tour with Lamb of God. But anyways, at that event, everyone from Mastodon was there except for Brent Hinds. I mean, you know, of course, I don't think at the time, I don't think that really raised any eyebrows. I think it's more of a, you know, like a hindsight 2020 situation, if you will. But you got to wonder how long this has been a thing, though, because the band is playing Tools Live in the Sand event this weekend. They're playing on Sunday, I believe, March 9th. It's their first show of 2025. Their last show, I believe, was in December of 2024. You know, obviously, I think in a situation like this, it makes the most sense to address it beforehand. I mean, it could really stir the pot had they went on and played the show without Brent and not said anything ahead of time. But really, that just leaves the question of what will the band do moving forward in terms of a replacement, because you know, being in a band where everybody sings, they do kind of have that luxury of everyone being singers that you know, most bands don't have. So it really could just be a case of Mastodon moving forward as a three-piece. Could also be an easier way to avoid backlash if maybe they did bring in a replacement and the fans were not that into it. Someone commented on the YouTube short that I did when the news broke, speculating that Mastodon would bring in Brandon Ellis. Of course, Brandon Ellis just recently left the Black Dahlia Murder, and he came from Arsis before that. I mean, obviously, Brandon Ellis is a monster guitarist, but probably not the right guy for Mastodon. I mean, who knows, though? Stranger things have happened. I'd love to know if the band does replace Brent Hinds. Love to know who you think they could get to replace him down in the comments. But aside from the Tool Festival this weekend, Mastodon has a big tour coming up with Coheed and Cambria and also Periphery in May and June. If the split between Brent Hinds and Mastodon just happened, something very, very recent, and they do aim to replace him at some point, I doubt that they would have somebody in time for the Tool Festival this weekend, but I would guess that they would have a replacement in time for that Coheed tour, if that is the route that they want to go. And again, like I mentioned, we still have no statement from Brent on the split with Mastodon, at least at the time of filming this. I mean, that could change at any second. Very curious to see what he's got cooking for the future, though, because he has had a number of projects outside of Mastodon over the years. There was Fiend Without a Face, West End Motel, Giraffe Tongue Orchestra. I think there might have been a couple others, but full transparency, I mean, I have no idea how active any of those projects are here in 2025. So that will be interesting to see as we move forward. And of course, just like everyone else, I would love to know more of the details of what happened with this whole Mastodon situation. You would have to think that we will hear something in the not too distant future, be it a statement from him in an interview, etc., something like that. So we shall see, but that is all that I got for you for right now. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe below if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time.